Hey there, me again. Like I said in my first video, it's going to be probably a great deal of car videos in this series. Just because it's where I know for sure I'm alone and I'm eavesdropped on. And I say that at least at this stage of the game, and I'm not trying to manifest anything or project anything, but at least at this stage of the game, things are very amicable. Actually, I think my husband and I are getting along better now that everything is out in the open and can freely talk about things and discuss fears and concerns and all the things that if I, before we had made the ultimate decision, I kept inside and I would let spin in my brain and worry about, and now I can just say to him, well, this is what I'm going through and I'm, worried about it. And he's always been a fixer and he's always been a very practical and pragmatic person. So he does see solutions quite often that I don't see. So there's that. And he's continuing to, I don't even know if the word is surprise me, but affirm to me that he isn't, speed bumps, that he ain't gonna do me dirty. He's gonna be good. He's gonna do what he can. So that's where we're at. I'm on my way to a dog sitting job. I am looking at the broader picture of my future income sources. And in May, beginning of May, I lost, didn't lose, they moved. So I lost them as a client, but I didn't lose them like something horrible and tragic happened. One of my regular clients that I've had for at least a year moved out of the Chattanooga area. And she was a Monday through Friday, 3 animals, an occasional vacation time client. And those are awesome. She was awesome. She was a friend of mine, so we're still friends, and I miss her. But I need at least 1 or 2 more of those. Monday through Friday, daytime, somewhat flexible on the amount of time. Let's see. And the thing is that slowly people are going back to work, going back to their offices. Some people are never going to go back to their offices. I need another one, at least 1 more. 2 would be awesome. If I could have 3 Monday through Friday, regular daytime clients, if they had more than 1 dog, bonus, because I charge a little extra for the second dog. Oddly enough, I am driving by a house here in a moment of 2 dogs that I used to walk, and then again, they work from home now. So, I'm trying to figure out, I'm going to manifest that. I'm going to ask. First of all, I'm just going to ask. I'm going to put on my, public profiles. I need another client. That's the problem with the career I chose, is that the animals that need me tend to be a little bit more difficult. Except for this buddy that I'm going to see right now. He is 15 today, and he's a big dog. I'm not talking like a 15-year-old Chihuahua. That's normal. This guy, I think, has Irish Wolfhound in him. He's a big boy. And he's 15 today. I didn't know that until this morning after my morning visit. His owner, I sent them my update on the visit this morning, and they sent me back a message going, by the way, it's his 15th birthday. And I was like, oh my God, that is so worth celebrating. So I'm on my way to go celebrate his 15th birthday with him, which is probably going to be me singing off key happy birthday to a half-deaf dog, and giving him an extra milk bone because he's 15. He has a little bit of, some digestive things, and yeah, and we only walk about 5 minutes in the evening because it's hotter in the evening and he's old and he doesn't want to go that far. We do our morning walk, we go like a mile, which is pretty damn good for a 15-year-old dog. A mile a day, every day. That's probably why he's 15 and still alive, because he gets a walk every day. Anyhow, so back to not what I was talking about was my clients. Oh, I want to find a place to park in the shade because I'm going to talk for a minute before I go in to see my buddy here. I have been looking for a place to move to, and because of the housing market the way it is, people are selling their houses way faster than they have a chance to figure out where they're moving. So the rental market is also pretty cutthroat, and things are moving pretty quick. And people are increasing the prices of their monthly rentals because they can, supply and demand. Not gonna give anybody shit for that, you know. If you can do it, do it. And so that's been a little challenging. I've looked at a couple places. I've asked around for friends. A couple friends have, and initially I wasn't in a huge hurry. I thought I had a little time. And then now I realize, now if I find something I like, I just have to get it, even though we haven't put our house on the market and we haven't filed this stuff yet. I just got to get a house. I got to get a place, because the other challenge I have is the animals that I have, and finding a place to rent with like 2 animals, not affordably, or at least in my budget, not horribly difficult. But I technically have 4 animals, even though 2 of them rarely leave my bedroom. The old cats are 15 years old. They sleep all day, sleep most of the night. I don't know what they do at night. They use their litter box, which is in the room right next to my bedroom, and eat in that room. So we've lived in our house for 5 years, and those cats come downstairs a couple times a week, tops. Well, I take that. Ozzy comes down to the basement because that's where his litter box is, but in another house it wouldn't be there, so whatever. They're not all over the house. They're old. They don't do much. And if it's not my big black dog that's the problem, it's 2 old cats that sleep all day that are the problem. Of course, I have a 3rd cat. I guess she's the problem too. If I hadn't given her a home a year ago, I would be at least 3 animals, and I could, yeah. Well, why doesn't your husband take 2 of the animals? He could, maybe, sort of, but not really. One of the 2 old cats is pretty much my cat, and he's never really been a fan of him. But the 2 old cats are the 2 that need to stay together. Because my old cat and my new cat, Lilith, fight. So I'm already against it when we all move into a smaller house where we're all going to be on top of each other. I'm just going to hope and pray that everybody can get along, that we can figure out a way for them to get along. And they're doing a little better. The cat fights haven't been as often or as violent as they were initially, so hopefully that's okay. Also, I know that those old cats don't have that many more years left, but they might. There's a very strong chance they have another year left, which is really what we're talking about here, I guess, at this point. So, no, my husband is not taking my dog. He doesn't want him. He doesn't like him. He's my dog. And I could give him Lilith. I mean, I guess in theory, he could take Lilith and Leche, my daughter's cat, and that could potentially work. But and if I absolutely had to, that's what I would have to do. But I love Lilith. She's my cat too. And the other factor is that eventually he's going to start traveling back, going to be on the road again for work, because that's what he does. And so when that happens, he would have to find childcare for those animals. And he won't be living in Chattanooga where I can do it for him for free. I doubt. Unless something really crazy happens in the next while. So yeah, that, okay. So then the house thing. looked at a couple. And then I decided on one that a friend of mine actually owns. But I didn't act quick enough, and she had already taken a deposit from someone else, which I no hard feelings. I even told her, like, a couple days ago, I'm like, we're going to look at a couple other houses this weekend, so I can't, make a final decision. But but your house is definitely everything I need, but I just want to look at this other couple houses. I shouldn't have done that. I should have just given her a deposit and gone with it. Now I have my irons in the fire on about 3 or 4 other houses. I've got a scheduled viewing on Tuesday with one that's really, really nice. It's kind of the top of my market, but my budget, but it is what it is. And she got a deposit from these people, but they're meeting tomorrow to finalize everything. So there's a potential it could fall through. I am not wishing for it to fall through for somebody else. But if she called me tomorrow afternoon and said they changed their mind, or they found somebody else, or someplace else they liked, or, what have you, then I'd have a house. But I went through a little bit of a moment today that I was, my anxiety was getting to me. I had these creepy feelings up the back of my head of, what the fuck you doing? And worry about being able to afford a place, and being able to find a place, and afford a place, and all those things. And again, if I only had 2 animals, there's apartments I could be in. I don't want to be in an apartment. I've been in a house since 1990. I have been in a house. That's our house. I've had neighbors and stuff, but I really don't want to be. Although some of these apartments are very luxury apartments compared to the houses that are in my price range. Some of them are maybe not the fanciest houses. I don't really care about that. But having my privacy and the convenience of a yard, all those things are pretty important to me. Going through something like this really does help clarify what is important and what isn't important. And I think those things change as you go through the process. Things that 2 weeks ago, thought that I absolutely had to have are slowly going to dust. More things may end up going that way. We'll see. So, but then when I also just look at, a year from now, I guess a year from now, I'd be almost nearing the end of a 1-year lease if I sign a lease the next couple weeks. 6 months from now, when I'm halfway through this journey, I guess 6 months from now, I wonder what really is going to be important to me, and what I'm going to be thinking, and yeah. So I had a little bit of a emotional moment today, and I've been kind of stressing. My husband has, whatever, I don't know what to call him. He reassured me that, he's going to, the agreement that we have for support payments, he's going to at least add $500 onto those per month for the year, probably for the whole year that I'm renting, because the agreement we have is that some of a large percentage, more than half of the profit, I don't know what the word is, from the sale of our house, the money we take away from the sale of this house that we're hoping to sell in the next month or two, I'm going to get as part of my settlement. And the intention behind that is that with good money management and the right market and finding the right house and the right, situation, I could buy a house outright and not have to have a mortgage. Or if I had a mortgage, it would be a very small mortgage. And unless I went buck wild and bought myself a $500,000 house and tried to figure out how to find $3,000 a month mortgage payment, because that ain't happening. so that his other monthly support payments would just be for my living expenses plus whatever I make, which brings us back to me having to make more money, which is fine. I want that. I want to feel like I'm supporting myself, but I also don't want to walk away from 30 years of work. And trust me, being a wife and mother is work. There's one takeaway from anybody ever gets this chance to see these videos. Know that stay-at-home moms who work part-time, moms who don't work at all outside the house still work really fucking hard and deserve some recognition and some acknowledgement of that at the end of the day. Also, wives who support their husbands' careers, from everything from putting their own career on hold so that they can be a stay-at-home mom or run a household, or in my case, my husband traveled a lot for work his whole career pretty much, and so I ran everything else. He paid for it, but I ran it. I organized it. 2 major house remodelings, two interstate moves, and then a move within the time we were in Illinois from one house to the other, and just countless things with the kids, countless things with the house, countless things with the animals, and a lot of emotional work. A lot of work involving just, the stuff that gets done that nobody realizes it needs to get done, and until it doesn't get done, and then shit hits fan. But anyway, so I don't want to walk away from some compensation, some retirement fund, if you will, from that. But I also kind of like the challenge of seeing what I can do on my own and what I can provide for myself for once in my life. Not for once in my life. I supported myself all through college too. So anyway, this is getting long. I need to go in and see my buddy on his birthday. Quit crying. Yeah, the emotions go up and down. And mainly it's just about I'm a list maker. I'm a planner. I'm such a planner, and I'm a person who needs to know. I need to know what the fuck the next thing is. So the uncertainty gives me a lot of anxiety right now. I know what I'm not doing. They're mine. It's who I am. So those animals are mine for till their last breath, or mine, I guess. So there's no rehoming or any of that kind of stuff involved. So, all right. Maybe I'll make more of this after I walk. When I walk, sometimes with these dogs, I get thoughts. So